is the Two Moody Chicks podcast,
the lifestyle podcast brought to you by the sister duo Quinda and Sita.
From travel to beauty to events to entrepreneurship.
We are your hosts, and we will cover it all.
Hey y'all, it's your girls, the Two Moody Chicks. It's your girl Quinda
and your girl Sita.
And today we are talking about easing into the new year. So, as you know, everybody knows we just entered into 2024. 2023 was rough for a lot of people. It was rough for me personally. I really haven't known of too many people that say it was like a good year. It's just one of those weird, kind of whacked out years. A lot of stuff happened to different people and just seems like the world just went even crazier. And I think when the new year starts, people, they really put too much pressure on themselves and they think that soon as the clock strikes midnight, like something is going to magically change. Like you can start setting things like into motion. You can start, setting your intentions or whatever. But understand the first few months of the new year is always like a transition time. Like things from the past year are still wrapping up. Things from the new year are starting to take effect and come into place. Like it's not an instant like jump into, oh, this year is about to be, a whole 180. It's about to be totally different because it's the first couple months are still pretty rough. Like, and you're still, wrapping things up from the previous year. So
yeah, I think it's become like this culture of people like feeling the pressure of hitting the ground running. Like everybody on social media like flips a switch the last week of December and everybody started brand new. January 1st,
I'm cutting everybody off. But now nobody called me. I'm changing my number. Here come March 1st. Hey, yo, when my people said tap in. No, you said we was cut off. So what we finna tap in for? Who we tapping into?
Yeah.
So think about that too, y'all. Before y'all start cutting everybody out. If somebody needs to be cut off, don't wait for a new year.
Wait till January 1st
to cut.
It's going to say real phony.
Yeah, I cut off weekly.
What?
Weekly, okay.
I cut off 10 seconds before this video started.
It was about 15. I don't wait for the new year. Okay, I do it immediately. So when people do that whole, I'm going to wait till the new year to cut people out. Yeah. If somebody is toxic to your life, if somebody's not adding value, let them go right away. Like, don't wait till the end of the year. Because I don't know, like, and it's just a me thing, but to me, it kind of reads as like being extra a little bit,
Yeah.
You can... Like I said, there's nothing wrong with reflection. There's nothing wrong with, deciding what's better for yourself. And sometimes people, they just getting through the year so they don't do it to the end. But every day make changes towards being a better you and making your life what you want it to be. You don't have to wait for the new year.
I guess something I always think about is like, I wonder why people do wait to the new year to like hit the ground running to where they do so much in January that they actually like burn themselves out.
Yeah, burnout is real. Like the gym, like the first week of the new year, you can't even get on the treadmill. You can't get to the elliptical, nothing. By February, March, nope, it's the same 20 people that was going consistently the last year. So, it may be one or two new additions, but it's like, don't put that pressure on yourself. Like, I have to go to the gym every day in January because it's not realistic. Like if you do and you stick with it, that's great. But don't put that pressure on yourself,
Like if you're doing everything at once, you're trying to hit all your goals in 1 month. It's not really as effective as if you were to like space it, like let's say every month or every quarter, maybe have like a few goals. And for me personally, I don't even set goals anymore. I just do intentions. I think about, maybe I actually started around September of like the previous year. And I started thinking about, what are some things that I would like to work on and set my intentions with that. So I started to kind of like visualize what I want to change. I don't really call them goals. I don't really write them down. I don't get mad at myself if I don't hit that quote unquote goal, but I do start to set my intentions. I start to visualize how I want things to go. And I start to make those steps even in September, October, November, and definitely by December. I don't wait till January 1st and then just put all this undue pressure on myself. And then when January comes, and let's say you didn't even hit one of those goals, and now you're mad at yourself and you're beating yourself up. So I always say ease into it. I ease into it a little bit earlier than some people. Now, if you do want to wait till January and maybe hit one goal there, or wait till February, hit another goal, March, hit another goal, and therefore you're spacing it out, You can do that too, just figuring out what works for you. But I don't think hitting all your goals at the same time or starting them out at the same time is effective because, that's how you lead to burnout. And then a lot of people just give up at that point. I think that's why resolutions have kind of fizzled away because everybody had these like resolutions. I'm going to lose 10 pounds this month. And then they don't even lose any. And then they beat themselves up and then they just forget the resolution. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
what's
it's
your
like
take?
like she says, putting too much pressure on yourself, and it's doing too much too soon. Like Rome wasn't built in a day, so if you want to do something, start with small steps. Make it something that you can make it something attainable. Like say, oh, okay, instead of going to the gym every day, I'm gonna go 2 times a week.
Smart goals, yeah.
That's manageable. But about goal setting, like I think it's something you should do every day. Like even when the new year hits, like if you want to sit down the first, week of the year, the first couple of days of the year, and just say, okay, it's a new year. What all do I want to do in this year? Like you don't have to make it the first month. It
Yeah.
don't have to be done the first quarter of the year. It don't have to be done the first half of the year. But a lot of times, if you speak life into certain goals and you speak what you're trying to manifest for yourself, what you're praying about, then it'll come. You just have to keep speaking it and keep working towards it. So
Yeah.
that's just how I view the year. Like I don't really sit down at the end of the year. Like I picture my next year and say, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. This is what I'm working towards, but I don't say it has to be done by. Like I just
Yeah.
say I make steps towards it. If it's a career change, if it's fitness, if it's whatever you're trying to work on, learn a new skill, you just do it a little bit at a time. And by the end of the year, you'll be surprised how far you get. So
Yeah.
that's how I
And
view it.
normalizing slow starts. Like, what you don't even have to like work towards any goal in January. If you want to slow down and rest and take
Mm-hmm.
the month of January as like your slow period, watch your
Yeah.
shows, lay down on your couch with your fuzzy blankets, play with your animals, spend time with family, take those nature walks. That's okay too. Like you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to start working on all these elaborate goals or building a business or whatever it is. Like if you want to slow down and just relax and do nothing, that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. Yeah, like I mean, a lot of times when January hit, I'm exhausted from the year before. Like and time is like a man-made concept anyway. Like we
yeah,
use it to, mark the days and the hours and stuff like that. But it's like don't put so much pressure on it being a new year. Like um a lot of people go by the birthday rule. Like they like, okay, from this birthday to that birthday. Like to me, that's a little more sensible because it's like a time frame, a personal time frame. Like when the year changes, it's just like another year, like so birthdays kind of mark like a significant change in your life. Like you another year older. So like if you 38 and okay, my last year, next year be my last year before I'm in my 40s. That's something, that's kind of like, okay, it pushes people. But just because we turn a new calendar year is like, it's just another year.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean, don't stress yourself out trying to make something happen. Just make progress and make goals every day and work towards it. That's all you have to do. A lot of things you can do is like mindfulness things. Like take time to yourself and like really sit with your own thoughts and sit with, envision things because the mind is powerful. Like like I always say, I'm really careful in what I say because it always comes to pass. Like I've joked about certain job titles, I've joked about things, and next thing I know, boom, that's my title, So it's just like be careful what you say, but at the same time, if you really want something, you should speak it and keep saying it. So use mindfulness to really reach what you're trying to reach. If you want to lose weight, say, okay, this year I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna work towards it, and you put the intention out there, you put it in your mind, and you do it. So another thing is just taking time to relax your mind. Get off of social media sometimes. Stop scrolling TikTok and Instagram and Facebook 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm guilty too. I see the little lady pop up on TikTok 4 times. You should really be sleeping. And I'm like, girl, I know. And keep scrolling. So it's like, you just really take time to rest your mind. Not only use your mind to set goals and manifest things, but take time off from just social media, information overload, worrying about stuff. Just take time to rest and just do nothing and relax. So,
yeah. Yeah, I would just say listen to like what your body needs. Like, do what feels good to you that's healthy and not gonna be like detrimental. So, if you got some shows that you want to catch up on, catch up on those. If you like taking nature hikes, if you like being outdoors, a lot of us women of color, we don't go outside as much, or maybe we like to, but we just don't, we feel like we don't have the time to, make time to go out there and take those walks. I know it's not as warm in January, depending on where you live, but do take some time to try to get out there at some point, if that's what you like to do. Or just find other ways. Like for me, I just like to spend time in just like quiet reflection. So I might take a few moments before bedtime. I may take like a few long baths and just kind of think about my day or my week or set my intentions from that point. Um, but I just try and like slow things down. So whatever I'm rushing to do, I just try and like slow it down.
Hmm.
So
I'm a music person. Like I like to just sit and listen to my music and just take myself where I'm trying to go. Like I got my oldies, my Afro beats, my Latin music. Like I just sit and listen to stuff and just because music can change my mindset and the heartbeat. Like if I'm feeling sad, I want to feel happy. I put on some, upbeat music. I can dance. I can move around. Sometimes you feel a little down. You want to let out, have a little 5 minute cry. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I put on something sad, have my little 5 minute cry, and I'm done. So it's just like, do what resets you and do what really relaxes you because mental fatigue is worse than like physical fatigue. Like when you mentally tapped, you can't do anything for yourself.
yeah, and you have to be
Yeah.
rested to even achieve those goals or those resolutions. Like if you're not rested, if you're constantly in a state of stress, you won't achieve it.
Hmm. Yeah, and things start in the mind first. So if you don't give your mind time to relax, you just gonna wear yourself out prematurely. So work on some mindfulness and just do things that feels good to the mind and that can shut it down and relax. So
Yeah.
those are some things that we do.
Yeah, and they don't have to be big things. Like none of these things are going to be monumental, but they're like small things that add up and they matter. And if you do it on a consistent basis, you'll notice like the differences. So they don't have to be like life changing. So I don't know what to do or where to just do anything that you notice that makes you feel good,
Hmm.
but it's not harmful to you. Starting there.
Right. Like even if you don't want to walk your neighborhood or you don't want to go to the park and go for a walk, go outside. That's one thing you
Yeah,
could do. Like
yeah,
if it's a nice day and you driving to work and you're like, oh man, I feel like driving. Let the windows down, let some air in, let some sun in. It's just small things like that that can make a difference. So
yeah. Pepper yourself indoors. So I mean, you don't have to have the most money. You can go to Dollar Tree and rack up. Get
for
some
real,
nice
Family Dollar,
facial
Dollar
stuff.
Tree, shoot. I be thinking I'm big spending like Sephora up in that mug. Like I'm talking, I be getting the creams, the lotions, the potions, the powders. I be looking good, feeling good, you know, for real.
All from Dollar Tree.
On the balling on the budget. So and that's just I mean, it don't have to be this grand thing. Light some candles, clean your home, and then just be able to lay down and relax. I'm like, man, your house smelling good, you smelling
Yeah.
good. You got your music going, or your TV show, your Netflix, whatever it is, and just chill like that. So
Yeah.
ain't got to be nothing major. Another thing too is being resilient in the new year. So you want to just really use the previous year to like shape the next year. So I know a lot of stuff in 2023, it's a period of change for a lot of people. Like I said, things happen. Use those things to kind of say, okay, last year I dated this bum. I ain't gonna date bums this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you really just want to use what you learned in the previous year because sometimes things aren't necessarily like we don't go through bad stuff for no reason. We go through stuff sometimes to help us, to
Yeah.
teach us a lesson, to give us warning so that way in the future we can be like, okay, I'm staying away from this. If you left a toxic job, just keep building on what happened the previous year. You know, you
Yeah.
always use each thing as like a lesson and a stepping stone. Don't take last year if it was a bad year for you, like, oh, I ain't got no hope for this year, or or set these unrealistic goals. Use it, but build on it gradually. And become
Yeah.
tougher. Use everything as a lesson, and just say, okay, this year I know what to look out for. I know what to do differently, and keep building. Each year you want to be a better version of yourself, but don't
Yeah.
pressure yourself. Don't make it like this major thing. Just say, I'm gonna better myself. I'm gonna work a little harder. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and just get to it.
Yeah, so I think, recognize the challenges that you had, but honor the resiliency too, and know that
Hmm.
it's a new year, it's a new start, it's a new beginning, and take all those lessons that you learned and apply them. If there's things that you wish you could have done differently, work on making those changes.
Right.
So just looking at it from a place of like your strengths, not really focusing on like the weaknesses or, things that didn't go as well. You can always improve yourself, but just focusing on those resiliency factors and letting that guide your way. Because not every
Hmm.
year is going to be a bad year. I always say changes always happen and things don't always stay bad. They don't always stay good. It's just always changing.
Right. And I used to work some pretty sad jobs and stuff like that. And I would always say I wish this person knew that tomorrow was a new day. And that's what I tell people. Even if I'm having a rough day, sometimes you have you ever had this where you had the worst day ever and you go to bed, you like, man, I'm just sick of this, and that. And then you wake up the next day and it seems like everything that can go right goes right. Like people are
Hmm.
nice to you, you get blessed with things, you get
Yeah.
money given to you, you get gifts, and it's like, think about if you would have done something crazy or, got in your thoughts, you would have never got to experience that good day. So
Hmm.
keep that thought in your mind too. Like tomorrow is always a new day. You never know what tomorrow has. As bad as today can seem, or as bad as the last year was, the next year could be the year that totally changes your life. So
Hmm.
keep that in mind.
Yeah, and know that all things are working for like the greater good. Even the bad things that happen to you is ultimately all going to work out for the greater good, and it's used to build your character and your strength. And one day you're going to look back on it and be like, man, I actually overcame that. I didn't see how in that moment, but
Hmm.
I actually got past that moment.
I always tell people, like, I'm one of those people like to talk to and, vent and tell their problems too. And I let them get it out and I say, you know what, life has a way of working itself out. Like, and it does. That's my advice to people. And they say, whatever. And I said, no, life has a way of working itself out. Like I've been in some situations. I'm like, man, I don't see the end of this. And then when it works itself out, you're like, oh dang, that's how it's gonna end. Like that was easy. So don't get so wrapped up in your thoughts. It'll work itself out. But if y'all enjoyed this video, be sure to catch up with some of our other videos. Follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure you keep tuning in because we're always talking about something interesting, something beneficial, funny, informative, whatever. But again, just sit and reflect on your year. And if y'all got something to add, if y'all want to say, hey, this is what I do for the new year, or I love resolutions, or I hate resolutions, let us know. But again, we signing off. It's your girls, the two moody chicks. Peace.
This has been the Two Moody Chicks podcast.
Be sure to tune in next week to hear more from your favorite sister duo.
And check out our social media and YouTube channel for more moody content.